Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in today. I am currently out on a little bit of a break working on my new kids book, The Tale of the Sad Mermaid, and I'm having a break. I'm having a minute, have some nice music playing, and I've been burning some really beautiful incense, and I'm using some Santra frankincense incense, which is just beautiful. It's really, really good, very healing and soothing fragrance, which is just, I'm just loving it. So at the moment I've got a cup of tea and I had a minute and I thought, why not jump on and make a very short and straightforward podcast. So today's topic is a question that I've been asked many times. Also, I've was going to do this in a Q&A and talk about it, but I decided to just give this the time and energy that I think it deserves. This might be a part 1 and part 2, but I'm going to try and just condense this shit out of it. So if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and thank you to all of the new subscribers that have joined me. I'm always interested in new topics to talk about. I'm currently working on a Venus series, and I will be continuing that series with Venus in Gemini. But today I just wanted to shake things up a little bit and go off course. So without further ado, I am talking about how to tell when someone is using black magic against you, or someone might be using a love spell on you, or you're under some kind of spiritual attack or some kind of level of curse. Now, before I go into this topic, this is a very serious topic, and it's one that affects many, many people. I don't think people actually quite realize just how much demonic energy is out there at the moment. We are living in pretty much a fallen world, if you haven't noticed, and it ain't going away anytime soon. Okay? So first things first, if you're new to the spiritual world and you're oblivious to it and you're just fresh through the door, this channel is Real Talk, and I might say some stuff in this video which might be quite upsetting or unsettling. It isn't my intention to scare you. I'm just sharing with you some key knowledge that you might need in your journey if you ever encounter this level of attack. Just because these things are not spoken about, just because the occult world isn't recognized by your government, it's there. It's absolutely there. It is always and has always and will always be there. The collective of the human race is all one. So thinking that you can live in the world and be exempt from the spiritual world, it's actually more the other way around. But I'm not going to go into that too much. So first things first, your intention in your head is really key to everything. Energy only goes where intention directs it. And energy is timeless. Energy is what it is. When I hear people use terms like, I'm sensing really bad energy here, like a bad vibe, all that really means is the person is sensing something that isn't in their best interests. Okay? What is positive or negative is purely based on interpretation and what's in someone's agenda. What is chaos to the fly caught in the spider's web is completely normal and in the spider's favor. Okay? People only tend to have a problem with things when it doesn't go their way, when they don't get what they want, when their person that they decided that they wanted to date or try to court rejected them, or their political team didn't win, for whatever reason it is. And I don't care what it is. Everyone has an agenda. Everyone has a level of what they deem as positive or negative, okay? And in a lot of cases, a lot of people that say lines like, I hate drama, they're actually the ones that are causing the drama. And generally drama to them is when someone else holds them accountable for how they impacted someone else or treated someone else. So in the spiritual world, obviously it's not really diarized or proven in a court of law. And of course, going through a breakup can be very hard. And a lot of people feel very hurt and betrayed. Obviously, breakup spells or spells on exes and things like that are generally anything to do with matters of the heart. As far as hexing or cursing is concerned, it's usually always around matters of love, an unequated love or a ghosting or some kind of level of abuse. And of course, you can't really do a lot about it. You can't go over there and get your hands bloodied, but you can do something from the spiritual world, which is whether it's through a reverse candle or whether it's through performing a full-on ritual, whether it is enlisting someone on the left-hand path, on the occult path, to do some work on your behalf against someone. This is a billion-dollar business, I would say, over periods of time. Millions and millions of dollars are given to scam artists all around the world that are more than happy to take your money and, make up some bullshit and say that they've cleared some space or they've cleared your energy of toxic vibes. As I have mentioned before, I would say about 90% of people in the occult field are all fraudulent. It is mostly full of charlatans and con artists and people that really just don't know what the fuck they're doing. There are very, very few people out there in the world, especially these days, that are authentic when it comes to knowledge of what to do in situations when it is in regard to removing curses. Now, some curses, depending on, by the way, I'm just summarizing here. There are so many factors that would have to be looked at and taken into account for every specific problem that someone might face when it comes to being under a level of attack of a spiritual force, whether it is the enlisting of a demon, the enlisting of an entity, the enlisting of ancestral help from the other side, whether it is working with a deity. There's just so many aspects of this that I couldn't even cover this in many, many videos. So for the sake of this video, what I am saying is if you are seriously under attack, you need help, because no one is going to make it alone when it comes to this type of stuff. The real stuff can really fuck you up hard. And that's why I believe it's very important to live and let live. So let people be as they are, let them be who they are. And also how important it is in life to let things go as well. It's often said resentment rots the container that it's contained in. And that is true to a sense. But a lot of problems should be dealt with in the real world, and turning to the left path is obviously the last point of resort. You've exhausted all of your other options, and now you're coming to someone for something. So whether that's removal or whether that's paying for someone to help you, do your homework. I don't know where you are. Are you in Africa? Are you in Brazil? There's just so many aspects of this that I just have to get that on the table to begin with. So people's intentions and how they feel about you are really important, because we are surrounded by, obviously a lot of evil people. It's a very, very wicked world out there. There is a lot of jealousy. A lot of people will perform a spiritual ritual against you just out of pure spitefulness. If you're really talented, or if you happen to be a very attractive, handsome person, handsome man, a very beautiful woman, when you are beautiful, or if you are talented or knowledgeable, you will attract a lot of haters. Being beautiful will also make you a target. It makes insecure people feel uncomfortable around you, and they don't like the inequality that you're higher in social capital or you're more desirable than they are. They may want what you have, and they will, whether it's intentionally doing so or not, can place hexes, curses, and energetic attachments which can feed off you and weaken you and hurt you. And that's one thing I want to make clear, is that your thoughts that in your reality control your mind. So sometimes people of strong mind can actually perform curses or perform black magic on someone without even realizing what they're doing, purely just out of focus. This is very important to understand this. Okay, a very, very jealous person that's always thinking about you, always wondering about you, is always projecting energy onto you. You know, in the culture, I think it was in the Greek culture, in parts of India and parts of Sri Lanka, also in Italy, they've got like lots of eye references, you know, the reverse eye, the evil eye, or the black hand, which is a symbol that is used to ward off and reject negative energy or energy that comes to harm or hurt from another person that is being projected onto another person. Because all of our collective consciousness is connected. So when we think about someone and we really mean it and we're really directing energy, that energy in the thought will find the target. In the left-hand path, we call this word, I will use that word in this podcast, target, okay? The target is the person that is getting the spell or work done on them. They are the target, whether that's through voodoo or voodoo. Now, voodoo is not the same as voodoo. Voodoo is a religion. Voodoo is a practice. And through all of my years of study and being in this field, also I understand that I've come to believe the strongest and most potent form of magic will always come from a place of great oppression. That's why with a lot of the African people or black people, when they were brought over to America, to the Americas, the United States, and they were made into slaves, they used their practice by whatever means they could to exact or to curse the people that had enslaved them. If you go down to New Orleans in America, down in New Orleans, you'll know all about the histories of all of the workings and rituals that would have gone on, particularly around that time. It still does. It's a very spiritual place to be. But yeah, any type of magic that comes from a place of oppression will generally be some of the strongest stuff that you could think of. So be careful what you think. Be careful where you're directing your energy. Personally, I don't go anywhere near this unless it is very, very serious and all other options have been explored, and I'm at that point where I'm ready to go ahead and do what I need to do. Now, that being said, when we swing energy towards someone else, one of the things that I notice doesn't really come up a lot is that we don't know, or you don't know, or I don't know, no one knows what spiritual protection that person has around them. Now, spiritual protection doesn't just mean their kind of, energy field that everyone has. Spiritual protection is more a reference to who is batting for them, who is in their side of the corner in the ring in the spiritual world. And in some cases, some people can't actually be accessed through the spiritual world, no matter how hard you try. They will be relatives, family members, parents on the other side that will deflect anything that could come at their child. This is quite common. I have noticed that and I know about that. So always be aware that any type of sending of energy towards someone to harm them, hurt them, weaken them, confuse them, own them, kind of slave energy, that type of thing, if you know what I mean, more of the baneful style of magic, you don't know, you're already stepping into a risk here. You're already stepping into a risk of not knowing what level of protection is around that person that will dissolve it or even send it back to you tenfold for even trying. Okay, so there are always risks involved, especially with the black arts and especially with love magic. Like I said before, matters of the heart are usually the main reason why people go down this road. And I want to answer a question because I'm trying to answer a couple of questions in this podcast, but someone asked me what is my thoughts on the black magic, and my thoughts on it are really quite simple, is love magic black magic? And the answer is 1000% yes. Why the fuck would you want to make someone love you that doesn't love you, that doesn't want you? Wouldn't you want them just to love you because they like you, because they want to be with you? Trying to get someone to love you that isn't attracted to you, that by their own free will, is so spiritually disgusting and filthy. And it's basically like trying to get someone to eat dog shit. Now, like I've said, and I have done a video before specifically talking about this, it can end up in violence, it can end up in rape, it could end up in that partner maybe coming back for a short period of time if it was a breakup and then it falls apart. It really doesn't work out long term. All right, so that it is what it is. Okay, so I'm just putting that out there as well. The affirmations and the internal dialogue that we have in our head, our thoughts control, like our feelings control our thoughts and our thoughts control our feelings. They interchange in our mind every day in the present world. And so how we relate to ourselves will also control to a certain extent our own reality of how we project ourselves to others and how we are received by others as well. It's all connected. So if you have really shithouse self-esteem and you tell yourself that you're a dirty piece of shit every day and you are filthy and you're dumb and you're useless and you're hopeless and you're worthless, these thoughts will control. The shadow aspect of you will control you. So our internal dialogue is also casting energies through our thoughts, through our words, through our expression, through our writing. When we're writing something down, we're releasing an energy. Everything that comes through us that transmits and transmutes out of us has a consequence. All right, so I want to make that really clear. The first sign I will say that if someone has performed something against you, one of the most obvious and quickest ways to pertain to whether it is a force of another person on you would be dreams, the dreaming world, the dreaming state, the astral plane. Now, this generally happens obviously when the target is sleeping. So the person that is having the work done on them, the target will generally be asleep. This will make them easy access or more accessible to the caster when they are casting their intention or magic onto that person. In the astral plane, people are more susceptible to attack. So if you are, I'll give you some examples here. If you suspect that you are under a spiritual curse or attack, think of all of the signs that are popping up in your dreams. So bad dreams, dreams where you feel lost, feel like you're on a bus, you don't know where you're going, you're walking in a street, you don't know where you are. any type of feeling of helplessness, feeling of confusion, feeling of lacking of direction. It could be also animals attacking you. It could be you having sex with multiple people, with different people that you don't know. It could be like anything to do with like waking up in the middle of the night between 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. You can't go back to sleep. Obviously, the 3 is a play on the Holy Trinity. Any type of banging or knocking around your bedroom, around your house, whack, 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 3. It'll always be 3. It usually comes in signs of 3. All things generally come in signs of 3. It could be lots of bad luck, obviously, picking up a pen and it runs out of ink. It could be getting lots of parking fines, feeling like you're in a haze, like someone's kind of put a wet towel over you, very low mood, feeling depressed, things that made you feel excited, that you enjoyed, suddenly your passion for life is kind of just fallen away and you just don't feel like yourself anymore. You're kind of freaking out a lot. Very erratic moods, erratic thought processes. This would, if it's a love spell, it would be more kind of like you will feel a pull from someone towards them. They'll be on your mind a lot. You'll get in the shower and you'll be thinking of them. You could get in your car, you'll be thinking of them. Everything that you do, they're always on your mind. Their face is in your mind. You kind of see them wherever you go. You're always wondering what they're up to. What are they doing? What's this person, where are they at? That type of thing. This could be a love-related curse of how to tell. And it could be completely unrelated. Like it could be someone that you weren't really attracted to. It could be a person that you weren't really quite fond of to begin with. And now all of a sudden they're just kind of coming in really strong into your mind and they're just kind of running into your heart and you're feeling this kind of really pull, like a pull in your heart chakra that's pulling you in towards them. This is a love-related type of feeling that you may get. If you are getting it and it feels like someone else is influencing you in that regard, you need to sit still, you need to do some meditation, and you need to start to really just lower yourself down and try and really look and assess and go, what is going on with myself? Prayer and meditation, journaling is very important. If it is a curse to do with love or anything like that, you just need to start diarizing it. One of the things that a lot of narcissists do, and I've mentioned this before in my videos dealing with narcissists, is this person will always kind of keep you off balance. So they're always kind of, ensuing doubt into your mind about yourself, making you feel like you're not worthy, making you feel like you're not special, this type of thing. It's a controlling energy that someone might be putting over you. And it doesn't just come through how they treat you physically. Of course, energy has memory. It goes where it goes. So it could already be happening. It could be a boss at work. Even just building a power thought in your head and releasing it, that is still going to cause a shifting of position of energy around another person. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to be open about in this podcast, is that hexes and curses can be applied in many different ways, not just you feeling anxious or feeling illogical and suddenly depressed. These things could come around in so many different ways. That's why I'm trying to say, if you feel that you are under attack, you probably should go get a consultation with someone that is reliable and is proven to have a track record with this type of stuff. It's very important that you get a second opinion. Sometimes you may not be able to see the energy that might be around you. Also, there are some occultists that can summon demons or beings onto other people that will attach themselves to you. And that will require a level of third party to come in and have that cleansed or removed off you. Sometimes if you're not spiritually strong and you've been weak, in some cases people may have had spiritual attachments their whole life attached to them and wouldn't even know. And one day someone spots it and says, hang on, I'm severing this. By the way, severing a spiritual entity can be very, very hardcore. It generally would require quite a few sessions. It's not like TV where they just go like, hocus pocus kind of thing. You would have to come in, get a session. First of all, you need a consultation. Then you'd come in for a session, and it would be repetitive sessions. It wouldn't just be like one and done, kind of like almost like performing a level of exorcism. As well, an exorcism is an entity that's trying to possess the host. So entities don't possess objects; they want to possess people. But in terms of hexes and curses, it's not an exorcism that needs to generally happen. It's a removing or severing the link between the cord between the target and the person. So I hope that made sense. So going back to my main point, it could just be, it's a very strong pull that you have towards this person, and you're imagining them being around you, you're fantasizing about them suddenly. Like you want them to have sex with you, you want them to be around you, you're kind of got this obsession with you, or you've got an obsession suddenly with them, and all of your focus suddenly starts coming back to this person. This is all love related. It's all black magic related. Anything black magic is someone else inserting energy onto someone else without the other person's permission to harm or oppress them. Whether it's a romantic partner or not, a lot of people generally turn to this when they've gone through a breakup, or it could be like a revenge thing. So really pay close attention to it and try to ascertain whether it is or it's not. But I would say it wouldn't hurt for you to go and get an assessment done wherever you can, just to give yourself a bit of clarity, because you're not crazy. Like, this stuff is real. When you believe in something truly and you believe that it is possible, you are manifesting something, whether that's positive or negative. It goes both ways. Like I said, energy doesn't give a fuck about positive or negative. Energy is just energy. It is what it is. It's what we assign the meaning to the energy that makes it dangerous or whatever. So anyway, lots of symbols, lots of signs will generally pop up. When someone is using a level of magic on you, there will be like an energetic trail or a cord that can be detected by some people. It's generally like a thumbprint or a fingerprint energetically that we can trace back to the person who sent it. This can be done from very experienced shamans, or it can be done from a very experienced witch or psychic or medium. Some people are more able to assess it better than others. Over in South Africa, there are a lot of witch doctors, lots and lots of witch doctors and, priestesses which are able to do this. It's very common. This stuff is a lot more common over in the Middle East. People under Allah or Jehovah or Yahweh, whatever they want to call it. There's many different aspects of magic and ritual acts that conjure energy. So there is actually a very simple one you can do to get out of it, which is quite a common one, obviously, other than just using sage or Palo Santo. You have to basically have a cleansing bath, and you would need to use what is called a road opening candle. And a road opening candle could be generally a white candle that is enclosed in glass, and that candle would be used for purity and protection, and you would have to undo or reverse back the energy to the other person through the power of the candle. There are lots of videos out there on how to perform a cleansing ritual. I will say that if you are doing it and you've got the candle and you're doing the road opening to reopen the roads that have been blocked by the other person around you. So whether it's getting an apartment, getting that job, getting that car, all of the bad things that have gone wrong around you, you're reversing that. So you're opening those doors so all of this abundance can start coming through to you. When you light that candle, make sure that you put it in a safe place. Make sure you put it where no one else can see it, touch it, or interfere with it. If it burns itself out, that means that could be a symbol or a sign that there is a force trying to, basically blow out the candle, as so to speak. So you need to keep it going. Relight it, start again. Relight it, start again. Keep going and keep going. A lot of people buy Florida water, or they use incenses like sage incense or frankincense incense. Is a good one. I think there's another one called Carmelio, I think it is. It's a type of fragrance which is also very neutralizing. Sound baths would be really good. But ultimately, if you have nothing and you're out in the forest and you're under attack, even if you can claim your space, like reclaim your mind, use positive affirmations to regain a level of control. Say it out loud, state it. I am in control of my mind. No one controls my mind but me. I am worthy of abundance. You have to really believe it and mean it. One of the things that I've learned when it comes to playing with this type of magic is that it really works best on really weak-minded people. The weaker your mind, the easier the spell will be to work. So in some cases, I don't want to freak you out too much, but I've heard stories and I know of personal stories where mind control is actually even possible if the person isn't smart. They're not really the smartest person in the room. They're not really in tune with themselves. Then it's more accessible for a force outside of themselves to influence or control them. So that's another aspect of it. If you're listening to this video, I just want you to kind of pay attention to that as well. That's why for me personally, it would be very, very difficult to use magic against me because I'd sense it straight away, and the witch that's using it would have to be stronger than myself for it to work on me. One of the first things you'll have to do is, if you are under this level of attack, is you will have to raise your energy higher to a point where the energy can't work anymore and it just pops off and falls apart. So yeah, it's like Battle of the Witches, obviously. If an energy comes to you and it's weak, it won't really work if you're really strong. But if a strong energy comes to a weak person, then the person will be under attack. That is a given. A lot of people that go to hospitals are always under spiritual attack. A lot of entities live in hospitals because people are already weak. Their energetic force fields are quite weak. What else do I know? A lot of airports are full of demons and spiritual things as well. There's a lot of energies getting released, a lot of people coming and leaving. So yeah, lots of places are more susceptible to it than others. Obviously, places where things in history have taken place. There's just so many, like I said, there's so many factors you have to consider before you can ascertain whether it's going on or not. A lot of the time, the person that might be doing it will be with the church. A lot of evil people. In fact, I will go out and say some of the most evil people that I've ever met are usually working for non-for-profit organizations, or they are kind of like law-abiding, upstanding citizens in their community. A lot of priests, a lot of people that kind of come in under the guise of helper, teacher, fixer. That's where evil loves to hide out. A lot of teachers are quite evil. I'm not saying all of them are, but what I am saying is that evil doesn't hide and live in the bush and the forest. It generally is the people that are, amongst us. They hide amongst us, and they hide behind a mask of being a good person and, being trustworthy and stuff like that. That's how they infest the people around them, because they're able to put that mask up. A lot of psychopaths do that as well. So a fasting ritual would be, and fasting rituals and having a white bath would be very good. If you don't know what that is, just look it up. You'll also, when I say fasting, it doesn't have to necessarily be food to try and break the energy. It could be just giving up alcohol, or it could be like giving up, weed, giving up something like cigarettes, something that means something to you. You have to give it up for at least 7 days, and you have to do it properly. You have to really put your heart into breaking that energy. Music is very important. You could use music to try and help break it, changing your state of frequency. As we know, music can do that. But most of all, it's not just about wishing something. You have to truly have faith in what you are asking for to be the one to break the energy around you, okay? So you have to be stronger than the energy that came at you. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So a good thing to be would, some people have been under attack for so long that they've lost their own sense of self. I would say a good thing to do would be like make a vision board if you can. So get that vision board going. You put pictures up of things that you reassert yourself back to yourself through that will help you feel more kind of in control. Like, cutting things out of magazines, sticking them on a board, or even just on your phone with all of the pictures that you've got as well. It could be a good template to try and remind you, of yourself. If you are financially trapped, then it can be pretty fucked up because you can't really see a way out of your own debt, and you can't see a way out of how you could make your life better. So going and getting a financial advisor, like just anything that can lift you out of where you are. So I hope that makes sense. A lot of like rituals, like washing of, getting under the shower, letting the water kind of come down your body, doing the visualization of it all kind of coming off you and going down the plug hole. Anything that means something to you that you're able to reuse to regain control from the symptom. Also, a lot of people that might be doing magic on you may have gifted you something. We call this a conduit, or it could be a servitor. They could have made even a servitor doll out of Play-Doh, like a Play-Doh baby. By the way, guys, this stuff is all 100% real. No matter what country you go to, every country has its own practice and its own unique way on cursing, how to curse someone. They could be using like a doll, like a voodoo doll, putting pins in it, or they could be, in India, it's quite common for someone to curse someone by placing a buried item on the target's property, which will keep their magic stronger over that family, or placing something up in the attic. A lot of real estate agents, when they were going up into attics, I was watching on TV in India, and in some parts of India, they find all these little dolls up in the roof that are all hung by their necks. That's actually witchcraft there. So they place the doll versions of the target's family, and it's one doll for each person in the family up in the roof, and that's using magic against the family above their heads, literally in the house. Also, you'll find in Thailand, I think it's actually the Philippines, a lot of bottles get thrown around. So they throw bottles onto your roof that are cursed bottles. Obviously, if you can find the bottles, you get up on the roof and you smash them. There's just so many aspects. Like I mentioned, I'm trying to summarize here and just give you guys an understanding of how in depth all of this is. And it's not as simple as just washing your hands and it will all be gone and clean. It's really a lot more complex than you think it is. So that's why it's really important to go get those consultations done and make sure that you're doing everything you can to pick up on any means of witchcraft or energy that's come onto you. Like I mentioned, a lot of evil people go to church. A lot of witches go to church, by the way. It's their way of infiltrating the church, and it's their way also of feeling that they're going to be expunged for anything that they do to other people under God's eye kind of thing. So it's like a way for them to get away with it, if it can all be kind of blessed away, like forgive me, Father kind of thing. A lot of them just hide in plain sight. Also in the tarot, I will mention that the moon card comes up a lot in the tarot. This is also the subconscious, the hidden sides, depending on what card spreads it is, but the moon card does come up around curses and black magic a lot as well. Something that I have noticed. It's very important to think about. But yeah, no matter what spiritual system you're in, this stuff is real. It is always real. It has always been there. And whatever you believe in, God's honest truth, you must be careful and you must understand that this stuff does exist and it works. I have been under spiritual attack before. I know how it feels and I know what to do. I do accept DMs sometimes if I feel that the message is sincere and the person is genuinely trying to ask for help. I can refer you to people that could help you as well. If you're under a level of attack, then let me know. But please make sure that you have taken the time to really assess your situation. I always believe that any level of divination or a reading is really important as well. Once again, with not just anyone that's just picked up the tarot cards, talking to someone that has been doing it for a long time, that has a lot of experience in this. And yeah, and if it is a love spell, I mean, it's already going to be coming from a place of someone else inserting their will over your will so that they can infiltrate you. I'm all about putting like your best foot forward. So there's nothing wrong with, using magic on yourself to like be your best self. But when we start playing around with other people's free will, it starts to get very blurry and it doesn't tend to work long term. You want someone to be interested in you for who you really are, not just like because you willed it upon someone else, right? It's everyone's right to love who they love and be who they want to be with. So we have to respect that and understand that sometimes rejection is a level of opportunity that you may not have seen before with a person. So I hope that makes sense. And sometimes it could just be that that person really isn't a good person at all and they don't care about you. They just want to use you, and it could have, for whatever reason that it fell apart, kind of can't call it like a blessing in disguise, and that's how I think is the best way to see it. If something is meant to be, then it will find a way. So any type of dabbling in this type of stuff, really, it's already coming from a place that isn't of true the truest, highest form of energy is love. And if it doesn't come from love, then it won't really last long term anyway. So yeah, well, I hope that this video has helped. I've been talking for quite a while here. There's a lot of points, I feel a lot of important points that I've mentioned about cursing, hexing, removing it, figuring it out, and just getting you guys, like, giving an all-round kind of Q&A about my very strong thoughts on hexes, curses, and how to know. If something doesn't feel right, then it probably isn't right. Also, if an occultist or a witch or someone has given you a gift, always be aware that that is a link that that person has given you from themselves to you, that you have in your home. So if you feel that you're under attack from that person, then you should remove that item from that person as quickly as possible. And in some cases, it's not easy, because if they are a narcissist or a psychopath, they may even have trapped you in financial debt where they own the house that you live in. So that can be quite scary. But always believe that there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way, and not everything can last forever. So make sure that you haven't given up hope, and maybe you need to go get spiritual protection done and step up your game with your spiritual protection. Obviously, I work with some energies around me that I have, and the second that anything feels off, my spiritual team goes off like warning, and I kind of pick it up straight away and I remove it. But I'm already operating at a level that's quite high, and because of that, it's quite hard for an energy to reach me to begin with, because I don't engage with it. Even doing videos like this, I know there are a lot of jealous people that hate how I talk, or don't like that I'm sharing knowledge about this kind of stuff, or want to deter people from me, or talk badly against me. That's why words are so powerful, because that's why they call it spelling. It is spelling. We are spelling energy, expelling energy into our consciousness, into the ether. So be careful what you put out there, because it does have a cause and an effect. So yeah, anyway, I will leave it here. Lots and lots of love. I hope that you've really enjoyed this video. I've really enjoyed talking about it. It's really interesting, and here's some of my knowledge that I've shared with you for free. Please hit the subscribe button and share the video with anyone that you think would really appreciate this level of knowledge. And I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.